Okay, number one, professional audits. Treasurer, Supervisor Lawson, I'm glad you mentioned that because to my knowledge, we were hit, when I say that, with 2 audits consecutive in each week. And I know, Bobby, you had trying the last couple of weeks to get ready for a state liquid fuels audit and then to get ready for a state, it was from the Auditor General, auditing the same account, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so to my knowledge, did you get a written report yet, or did you get a verbal?
Not yet, I have not.
Okay, what was the verbal report, if you wouldn't mind?
Everything was fine. They had all the documents that they requested.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I just wanted to let everybody know that. And then secondly, as far as professional audits go, I get questioned about this. I know some of the other supervisors probably do as well. The township has, and so at least since as long as I've been here, I think it's 7 years, always had a professional audit done. And so I think there's some confusion out there that the board doesn't do regular audits, and that's absolutely not correct. So every year, to my knowledge, the township, at least since, again, 7 years, we've always had professional audits. This year, our auditing firm is Houston and Associates, I believe. Is that right, Bobby?
Kathy
Kathy
Houston from
Houston.
McCall, Scanlon, and Tice.
Okay. And the audit, and I checked with Mr. Palermo, Michelle, maybe you checked with him as well on, because I had the question, where is our audit? I've asked, some people asked that. From what I understand, PMRS is, the state is behind on pension audits. So it's delaying township audits. So if anybody was wondering, that's delaying our audit, but we're still timely and everything's on track. So I wanted to mention that. It's the same thing that happened to us last year with the state and their pension delay, and it's delaying our municipality.
My question for was more about the advertising requirements.
Okay, I think we'll get you an answer on that. Okay, then moving on from there, I wanted to mention some of Sean's engineering report. And I know we hear quite frequently all of the engineering expenses and legal expenses. Now, I can't go into the legal expenses right yet because there are still ongoing active litigations that hopefully, once they are adjudicated, we'll be able to answer to the public. And I think once that happens, I think it'll clear up a lot of confusion for everyone. But as far as the engineering fees, we do have a lot of engineering fees. Our township has undergone immense transformation and infrastructure work. We started this in 2016 and we continue. The biggest expense that, in my opinion, and everyone else can weigh in, is our 3 sewer projects. That's not common. And Sean, I could ask you as a professional engineer, do you know of many municipalities doing 3 sewer projects at one time?
Not that I'm aware of as far as 3 go, but
That's not too common, is what I hear.
Our size.
Okay, so, thank you for that, because I could ask you as well. There are many different municipalities. So, with that being said, when the board started in 2016, we had and there's other supervisors that were here. There's been an amalgamation of different supervisors since 2016 and today, and all have worked very hard. No matter how long they sat here, the goal was to improve the quality of life for our residents. It always will be that. So open sewers and running sewage is not acceptable. And it's wretched, actually. That's the word that I would think of. It's wretched to have running sewage on anybody's property, let alone public property, in the year of 2022. So it's been a commitment of this board's to solve that problem. An average sewer project, and I'm not gonna try to pin you down right this second, Sean, but Jamie himself, when he was present at these meetings consistently, he always advised the board that it was 5 years. It was an average time frame from start to finish for a sewer project, with all of the planning and the permitting through the DEP and the funding through whatever state agency or lending source you were gonna go through. And that's what the board has been consistently, we've had our foot on the pedal, the gas pedal, and we have not altered that. And it does reflect in the engineering bills. But I believe at the end of the road, it's going to reflect in improved So I just wanted to make that statement regarding the bills. And our engineering reports are on an average of 18 pages long. And these are subject, of course, to right to know. If anybody wants to, dial down on what we're spending money on, a lot of it is in these engineers' reports. And so just to quickly let the public know, we are doing a major park upgrade to Veterans Memorial Park. That has been started, I guess, over a year ago. And we're encountering a few problems, and we're going to talk about this later on the agenda, but it's going to be an amazing park once it's completed. And it's going to provide a lot of enjoyment for residents and children of this community. Secondly, we are constantly managing utility, road, and occupancy cut permits. That's just one of the everyday things that Sean does for Union Township. Mingo Circle sewage. That is a big undertaking. This is sewage that is, again, we started this somewhere around 2016. We've planned this, we've received a $500,000 grant for it, and at the end of the road, when it's time to secure funding, which I think we're right on the cusp of starting that process. Is that correct, Sean? We're going to be going for Pinvest loans?
Right, as soon as all the environmental permitting is completed, we can start to pursue Pinvest and get that process rolling, developing a budget for the project, and once Pinvest accepts the project, they might give us a grant as well, and then that's kind of the last thing before we can get the project out to bid and started, so.
Okay, so, and with this project, and I don't want to get too technical because you're way better at that, but just to let everyone know, this is going to be a package plant. Is that the correct term for the type of processing plant that will be built?
Correct, yeah, there's a little over 100 homes that are gonna be included, and it's a smaller treatment plant, not as big as West Elizabeth Sanitary Authority's plant, but it's going to be
It's going to be its own plant. It's
Right.
going to have to be managed here by the township. They'll probably, the township at that point will have to look to a department to manage that. There's going to be staff that's needed. It's going to be a major undertaking, very exciting for Union Township. The budget on that is somewhere around $3 million and upwards.
yeah, it's really going to depend how everything's priced in a couple of years when we get to that point, but
Okay.
probably 3 to 5 somewhere in that neighborhood.
So I get calls a lot, and I'm sure others do as well, on where are we at with the Mingo Sewer project. And again, we are, it's a long process, and there's been a lot of, left and right turns throughout the process. And if anyone wants to know in detail, Sean or Terry Gladys are always here. They can explain to anyone, but anyone who's going to be affected by that project, again, this is a way to just reach out to everybody and say, it is still currently underway. Currently permitting is being done. The next goal will be Pinvest loans. It's a major, immense project. It's going to be of great value to the township, and it is very costly. So I just want to touch base. Sorry for being so long.
Heather, could I add two things there since
Absolutely.
you're on that? It's being done pursuant to a consent order.
Yes.
Okay, so we have pressure on us to do that. And secondly, the
No,
reason for the
there
packaging plan is that
No,
this
there
location is not
isn't.
within any of the watersheds in the township
Show me.
that are either serviced by Peters Creek or by West
Show
Elizabeth,
me.
which is the reason we have to go into the sewer business in that location.
Yes.
Show me.
So to bolster what Attorney Sweat said, the package plant is not flowing anywhere, correct? It's its own self-contained plant
Correct,
that
yeah,
will be managed solely and funded by Union Township. And we did work very hard several years ago, and we did receive a $500,000 grant. And we were jumping up and down because seriously, it was a major grant, and we're really excited about that project, and hopefully needed relief to the residents affected will be coming soon. So we have our eye on it, we haven't left our eye off of that project. Okay, then we have Scarmazy PRD, which we call Highland Village. That's the plan of homes, the plan of, units, should I say, up off of Route 88. We also have, overlook sewers. So when just describing the sewer project on Mingo, we have another sewer project, and this is one of the ones that the board in 2016 started, and we have buttoned that up. So very proud of that. We did receive a $250,000 grant. What was the grant amount? I'm sorry, did you say?
I think that one was 5 or 550, I think the other, Penvest Loan and Penvest Green.
Yeah, I was talking about the grant. I just can't remember the grant on Overlook, but I think it might have been $250,000. Do you remember, anybody? Okay, maybe, we'd have to look, we have a grant chart, but anyway, we did get a grant for that area, very excited. We did button it up. Sean just informed me that there were some closeouts to be done on that.
Correct, with, Penvest, we submitted the final disbursement for the loan, and, that triggers the closeout process. The DEP will come out, do an inspection, and, we'll get the Penvest portion done, and then it's just, load them out for the township to pay off over time.
Okay, but the good, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the residents on the Overlook Sewer Project are being billed monthly, and that's happening.
Since you brought that up, I wanted to point for the record that that is coming and going out of the Overlook sinking fund. It was
Okay.
mentioned that we didn't have any sinking funds, but that particular one is definitely a sinking fund. You know, some people were confused about what they were, but
Okay,
we do
good,
have one.
that was good to hear, that, thank you.
I'd like to mention on the Overlook project, how successful Harshman was in negotiating a service agreement with South Park in a matter of 20 minutes on a phone call. Eliminated any problems at all. We were done, one phone call.
And Sean, maybe you can, you have it in, I would love to clear for the record what the grant money was on that Overlook. I would like to be correct on that, but I don't know.
I believe it's 250,000,
Okay,
but,
I was thinking the same thing, but if we're wrong, we stand corrected. Okay, I'm sorry to belabor all of this. I did wanna jump to the road projects. We did several, bridges. I think we did 3 in total in the last 5-ish years. So that, they were expensive, they were, but they were new bridges, so that was good for infrastructure. Let's see here. I'm gonna wrap this up really quickly. Thank you so much for being patient. Road project, we're talking about the 2022 road program. Every year we do a major road program, trying to improve the roads in the township, and we talk at length about this. From what I've seen, when we do a road program, we really add a lot of infrastructure, catch basins, to try to hold the integrity of the road and get longevity in there. We have the Mineral Beach PRD, and that's a planned residential development off of Route 88, that's in processes. I think Sean has it in his engineer report that we're still waiting for some things with the developer, but, Finleyville Alrama Sewers, and that is in litigation, so I'm going to stay quiet on that, and I'm sure Attorney Scott will have something to say when he gets to his solicitor report. We also have, exciting, another park that we're doing, and it's the Alrama Chrome Shop Park, another park that we've received grant funding for, so exciting. And it's phase 1, we go to Pavilion, parking lot. We're having some, house cleaning on some of the contracting work down there, but the goal from this board's point of view, and maybe it's different going forward, but phase 2 would be a great playground or something else down there. But we did accomplish phase 1 to deliver something very nice for the village of Alrama, and let's see here. And then there's there's a lot of work on the various wells in the township. We also have done a lot of work on stormwater management and facilities. So, I'm going to digress on that because I can't talk to you on that, but if anyone has questions about stormwater management, our GIS program, oops, yes.
I actually do.
Yes.
So I noticed in the meeting minutes of 2019, Mr. Sam Carroll was here, and he was going to provide a monthly report for MS4. Does he still do that?
I don't know, and Terry's not here to ask,
Okay.
so.
I just was curious, because I'm trying to get familiar with each
Yes.
thing as I go, and I did see that it was October of 2019, he was gonna start providing monthly updates on the MS4, but I haven't seen one.
Let's put that on the agenda so Terry can update the whole board.
I might be able to speak on that. Currently, there's not monthly updates other than when there's something noteworthy in the engineer's report. The MS4 program, I believe it's on a 5-year cycle, so maybe in 2019 that was approaching that
It was a new
permit
thing,
cycle when that permit was about to be applied for. So maybe there's some updates on that end.
Okay.
I believe the next one's in 2024, and I know Colin and Terry the last 2 summers have done a lot of work as far as monitoring all the outfalls for the storm sewers. You need to monitor them, detail their condition, see if you see any illicit discharges coming out.
It's just as new today from me and Mr. Barna as it was for the rest of the board back then. So like trying to, when you, MS4, I was just saying to him a second ago, like, when you say the word package plan, I didn't know what one was. I was picturing a package, you know, like, but I Googled it, I researched it, I asked you questions about it, but the same thing with the MS4. Like, those monthly, maybe I could look at 2019s and kind of familiarize myself with the requirements for the MS4, but we walk in and.
Sam Carroll and Sean Mooney at my office, they're definitely the MS4 gurus, and you guys feel free, whenever you want to, give me a call at the office and I'll get them on the phone for you.
Thank you.
I do know regarding the MS4, something just to think about now for when you guys eventually get to budgeting, there's a requirement to get some inlet filter sacks in a few key inlets, so that might end up costing $20,000, which we need budgeted for in the future, but that's something that needs to occur during this permit cycle.
Perfect. And and again, this would be a good update to have on our agenda for possibly next meeting when Terry is back. Because I know she really monitors MS4 very closely, and from what I'm understanding, us being such a small township, we're on it. We're on the MS4. It's something that we budget for, we allocate, and we spend time focusing on, because that's a mandate from the state. So, yes, I think it's a good idea. Mr. Prehas, we should probably get an update for everybody and for Mr. Barna as well. So, okay, and with that stormwater facility management, it includes pond inspections, which was a big topic here several years ago. And we really took a lot of guidance from Mr. Lawson because we didn't know what an outfall structure was in a pond, and we really didn't, at least us as supervisors, we really got educated on pond maintenance, and we took a very proactive approach to it, and it didn't cost some money, but it really helped, in my opinion, with stormwater management, flooding. I mean, it was a good endeavor. So, okay, then we have the development of Tractor Supply and all that goes with that on Route 88, and then there's Pittsburgh Powder Coat, that's down in the village of Alrama.
Yeah, I think Tractor Supply's planning to be opened up around October was what I heard a few months back.
Okay. And then we have the Patterson's Road slide repair. And wrapping this up, stop signs, we did some work, there were some complaints on different stop signs, we did some studies on that. MS4, then there was Alrama Aldrich Water Treatment Plant upgrade, and then we have the Stonebridge Airport drainage issue, and that's it. So I'm sorry to take so much time up, but I appreciate your patience in listening. I wanted to kind of put some clarity on all that we're doing here and the expense that's related to that.
Well, I'm just taking over Tuscany too.
Okay, I said, so, okay, so thank you. Anybody have thoughts or questions, or? Okay, again, thank you for your patience in listening to all of that, and I'm done. So we're moving on to 4.